Good afternoon, guys. Today we are installing the cold air intake system from K&N in a 2021 Kia Sorento 2.5 Smartstream turbo car. This is my SX trim, SX Prestige in the States, I guess you can call it. And here's everything that's included with it. So you get some gasket material. You get the filter itself. It's a cone filter. This is the pipe that you got to replace. It's aluminum, the whole thing. It's a 3.5-inch OD, which is a nice size. You got the boot to connect it together, all the hardware, and then some instructions, as well as the dyno readings. So apparently it's supposed to get 16 horsepower, 16 extra horsepower, and something like 25 something foot-pounds of torque. Let me just open it here again. So yeah, 16.3 horsepower, 3,800 RPMs, and an extra 79 foot-pounds of torque at 3,200 RPMs. So those are some pretty good numbers. I'm hoping I'll be able to feel that. That would be nice. So first off, we have to uninstall the is the 2.5 liter turbo Smartstream engine and a 2021 Kia Sorento 2022, as well as I think the Hyundais have this engine as well. This is only for the turbo, because the non-turbo, the piping goes from here down into the intake, which is down here. This one obviously goes back to the back of the engine where the turbo is, which is that beautiful thing right there. So we need to install this whole thing, this whole piping all the way back to I think about here, and then this gets taken out temporarily and then put back in afterwards. So we have to, of course, disconnect all these little clips. We got to move that hose out of the way, and then a couple of other hoses that are down there for the diverter valve, and then of course it's got to come out. So let's get started on taking this thing out. So first thing first, I fired it up because I want you guys to hear what it sounds like before I put anything in. I do have the K&N filter, the flat one that's in there right now, so I don't know if it's got any extra sound, but I'll give it a couple of revs and we'll see what it sounds like. Easy, it's just 2 clips you just pull off. These are them there. This one I unfortunately did break a little bit, but it still works, so we're okay there. Now I got to take these off, which is pretty simple. You just squeeze these black pieces, it pulls right off like that, and then same with the green. Squeeze the green, and it pulls right off like that. This has to come off, and it's going to go on the new pipe. It's got a mount for it and everything like that, so good there. So this upper air cooler hose has to be taken out, or at least put aside, because there's the hoses down here, that one there, that I have to disconnect and pull out. And of course this hose is in the way, so I will disconnect this, which is pretty simple. It's just a couple of spring clips. You just got to pull back on both sides, and then it should slide right off. Again, my car is pretty new. I only have about 17,000 kilometers on it. I'm in Canada, so 17,000 kilometers. So the older vehicles might have a little bit of more time to do this, or difficulty doing this, but that's pretty much, you can access that. This one again, just a pin, pulls right out. And then this, I'm gonna need pliers for because it's a little tight, but I just squeeze that and then it comes off. And that is the diverter valve, or some people will call it the blow-off valve. It goes from down here at the bottom of the intercooler and then up and back into the intake box, which is what it's going to do for the new one. So those are taken off. That's going to go with the old box. I now have to undo this, and I'm going to undo this one here, and then this hose is available to come out. And then I got a screw down there, that one there, I can't see, there, right there, and then another one here, right there, that I got to pull out. or undo, and then this whole box will pop right out. All right, so this is now loose. Just to let you know, they're all 10 millimeter. That's a 10 millimeter, that's a 10 millimeter, and then those two that were there are 10 millimeters each. And now this whole thing should pop right out. Let's give it a shot. Like that, it comes out. Very simple. There is a little piece that just pins into the rubber at the bottom, I think there is. And then that's where one was mounted, and that's where the other was mounted for the screw. So we are all out, all ready to go, and put everything back in. Before we can put this in, we have to take this and wrap it around the edges and also inside the hole here. So they say that you're supposed to cut one piece to 15 inches and the other piece should be 35 inches. So let's take a measure and cut and put it all together. All right, so 15 inches was almost perfect. Went all the way around nicely. Doesn't look pretty, but it fits. The 35 inches seem to be a little short, but it's at the base, so it's, you know, not going to be too much of a problem there. But now I got to install the hardware, which is included in the kit here, and then we'll put this shield in. So I got this mounted in. That's the one that replaces this one, which is the center underneath. So I'll do that, and then I got to install the hardware that comes with it in here to mount it properly. That might be fun because there's a couple of washers, one on the bottom and then one on the top, and then it goes in and screws down. So let's get that puppy in there. All right, so I've got that mounted. So the screw there, and then of course the screw down there. It didn't line up too easy. This was off just a little bit. I had to actually push this direction in order to get that in, but it did go in. It's off just by a hair, just a little bit. So a little bit of oomph there, got it in. It itself is a little flimsy, but I'm hoping that once the pipe is in and everything's mounted, it'll be a little bit more solid. But she's in, she's not really going anywhere. She does have movement, but it's just a shield, so it's not too bad. All right, so they now say that this one needs to be the straight version. This is a 90 right now, you can kind of tell. This has to be replaced with a straight. They do include the straight. Let's get it out here. So they do include the straight. So I just have to unclamp it and throw this one on, and apparently we should be good. So we got the straight one on. Reason being is because once the pipe is in, there's a straight shot down. It's not at an angle like the old one was. So you need the straight one to connect properly. All right, let's go get the flex piece and the pipe, put that in. Before we put the pipe in, we have to take this off because this has to go on the new pipe. It's just another 10 millimeter bolt. And then this should just pop right out. Kim, there we go. So it's just squished in there. Pops right out with a little O-ring, and then when you put it on the new one, just put the 10 millimeter bolt back in. You're good. That is where it goes. This piece here just gets mounted like that and then bolted back down, and then we're good to go to reuse this. Just like that, she's in. Now remember, that's aluminum. Try not to tighten that too much or you will strip the threads. Put this bad boy on. So this just gets mounted right on there, and then the clamps, and then the hose will pop out of there. I don't know if you noticed, but I have the gravity gray trim, and the pipe almost matches. So I'm kind of happy that they went with that color, because that of course is the color of my car, so it's going to look good under the hood. Got the hose in, all clamped down on the back side. Now we're going to put the pipe in here and then mount it through there, and then clamp that down, and then we'll put the filter on, and we'll put kind of everything back together. All right, so I got that one in. I'm trying to get this one on, but my pliers are not wide enough, so I'll have to go and get some pliers somewhere. Just got to get these two back on. Again, very simple. Oh, let's get this underneath first here. And come on. Maybe we'll put this on first. Should just fit right in. Well, hang on, two hands. Just push it back in so the clips are now closed. Now we'll get these two back on. This one on this one, and this one on this one. There we go. So those are all done. Everything's in. Not as much of a wiggle as it used to be. That's all been clamped down. As you notice, it's a step down. So it does go from 3.5, I think, to 3-inch, which is kind of nice. Breathes better. So I just got to put the filter on, and I think I'm good to go. Oh yeah, and then my box, my intake scoop, I guess you can call it. And we'll be good together. There, she is in. All the hoses are connected, except for that one clamp down there. These are all tightened. Everything is good. Now I just got to put my box in, and we'll do a test. Ram scoop is in. I already have the sticker from the previous one in there. So there we go. That's what she looks like. All installed. She's pretty. All right. Now to do kind of a little test and see what she sounds like. All right. All right, so she's in. She's sounding good. Little ticky-tickies like normal. She's looking good. Now let's give it a little bit of a sound test and see what it sounds like. So put it there like normal. All right. And give it a sound. Okay, well that sounded pretty good. She goes whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I like it a lot. Now let's take it out on the road and see what happens. Okay, here I'm gonna leave a parking lot and give it some gas. You can hear what happens.